Good evening. First of all, I know some of you have arrived here as early as 2 o'clock, and I know you're quite hungry, and we will try to make this brief. But then again, I'd like to thank for really allowing this event to happen despite his very busy schedule. Of course, I'd like to also thank all of you kapatids here who have helped this come to reality. Actually, it is not my arm twisting that really brought you here. I guess it is your passion, your love for this country, and I guess it's about time that the realization towards really inclusive growth really happens. Actually, this evening is a celebration towards inclusive growth. And SULU is just one of the many. About 3 months ago, when the President asked Secretary Piñol to help SULU, he flew down and met Sakur and his son, Governor Sakur. And weeks after, Secretary Manny met me, and it was just timing that we had the entire agri sector of entrepreneurs with us, and he called for help. And I said, well, I think this is one way wherein our kapatids can really help bring back confidence to this province. As you all know, as entrepreneurs, when you lose confidence, that becomes more challenging. And I believe that despite the President's mandate to really bring peace to SULU, and his entire military force is there fighting the rebels, we should show to the citizens of SULU, of which Rosalyn Dawi was born there. And in fact, the grandparents of my wife started the school in SULU. So I think Dr. Sakur and his son and all these mayors, 15 of them here, deserve the applause for really having the courage I know your province is challenged. Don't give up. And we are all behind you. Later on today, we will be sharing the kind of support we have. Also, I'd like to commend, as we really bring about inclusive growth, I'd really like to commend our two secretaries here, Secretary Mon Lopez and Secretary Manny Piñol. This movement of kapatid, angat lahat, it will not be possible without government working with us in this room. We will not be effective if we don't have good secretaries to really implement the programs. It is challenging, as we all know, as entrepreneurs, to really encourage many micro-entrepreneurs to succeed in life. We in this room comprise 0.4% of the entire business community, us large corporations. But 99.6% of them belong to the micro, small, and medium enterprise. Some of them are represented here today. Large corporations. The challenge is but 99.6% to make more of them join us people in this room. And that is really inclusive growth. One of the groups I would like to recognize today are our agri-entrepreneurs here in this room. Can I request them to stand? Our agri-entrepreneurs. There are much more than that. We just couldn't accommodate them in this room. But to me, agri is the game changer. Without agri, I don't think we will ever solve poverty in this country. And together with them, and together with the sectors like our retail chain owners, Tessie, Rubina, and many of you here who have started to buy from our farmers, thank you. I think you deserve an applause. Pure Gold, all of these big chains. McDonald's is represented here, Jollibee, and everybody in the food service is all in this room. This is what we want to create, real inclusive growth, by bringing the farmer, being able for him to sell his products directly to the supermarkets. And I'm glad our big chains have started to open the door to these farmers. Thank you. Moving forward, in 2017, I think we have a great president. His style may be a little bit different from what some of us expect, but I think his passion to serve this country, to really make a difference, to be a big game changer is what we need. And Mr. President, you have the entire business community behind you today. To our chambers here, PCCI, the Indian Chamber, the American Chamber, and so forth, George, we really have a big task ahead to really make our Philippine economy super great. And again, to all our kapatids, maraming salamat. Merry Christmas.
Marami pong salamat, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Mr. Joey Concepcion. Ngayon naman po ay ating pakinggan ang isang mensahe mula po sa mga proponents ng kapatid, DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez.
Mr. President, Madam President PGMA, there are distinguished senators who are really entrepreneur advocates. Thank you very much for being here. Our partners in government, the DTI family is here, Mr. President, the DA, as well as, of course, ang bida for today, our business sector partners, our kapatid, the various business groups who are gathered here to make a difference in the lives of others. It's like really a Christmas is in the air. Christmas spirit is really just a few days, or Christmas is just a few days from now. And everybody would really just like to do something for others. And I guess that's the essence of being a true Filipino. No? And the business groups here, a very strong, vibrant group, the agriculture sector, you will recognize. Malaki nagagawa ng Viber group talaga. And of course, you have constant communication with us, with Joey, and we thank you for the tremendous response in pushing forward the kind of assistance, cooperation, collaboration that all of us can do, especially when we are called to help a particular area, agriculture, and pushing for agriculture and agri-industry development in SULU. Jingay, congratulations for taking the lead also in our project for SULU. Congratulations again, PA Joey, for again the leadership in the business sector, gathering the various business groups here. You're correct, you don't have to arm twist them. They are here because of the passion really to serve the country, doing their own share, make a difference in the lives of others. So, Mr. President, what we have here, what you see here, are the business sectors that are ready to help the country, ready to help your administration in really helping the country achieve tremendous growth, beating poverty. As you know, we are on the verge of a breakthrough. We all need the help of everyone. Walang ko-kontra, walang o-opposition, because we only have one country. We really need to help the country. We don't have to shoot ourselves in the foot. No? And this is our chance. Unemployment has been down. GDP growth of 7.1 on third quarter. No, tremendous growth in GDP. Even manufacturing has encountered big resurgence of 8.1% when it used to average only 3% in the past period. Tremendous growth, Mr. President, and that's on the third quarter under your administration. Agriculture also for the first time encountered a positive growth in the third quarter. Congratulations, Secretary Manny Piñol. 3% growth after several quarters of negative growth. So we are here on a good momentum. Let's not break the momentum. And that's the reason why I guess we have a very good turnout today of just really wanting to be of help to the administration and pushing for growth for our kababayans. No? For the DTI alone, we've established 400 negosyo centers around the country. We've assisted over 200,000 entrepreneurs just for the July to November alone, Mr. President. So that's under the current administration, 200,000. Conducting seminars every day in all the negosyo centers, conducting mentoring efforts in all the negosyo centers. At the same time, in partnership with the Go Negosyo and the PCCI, PFA, AFI, and so many groups here, the chambers, they're all helping out, providing mentors to the different parts, entrepreneurs from different parts of the country under the Mentor Me program. Our call for today to celebrate inclusive business is to provide a continuous market access for the products of many of our micro entrepreneurs, especially those from the agriculture sector. In DTI, we commit to mainstream the products of micro SMEs, the best of micro SME products. And we've had the cooperation from SM, Robinson, the Double Dragon Group, the Rustans Group, and even Pure Gold, and so many retailers, Mr. President, to allocate a specific space in their malls for free to mainstream and make available the products of all our micro SMEs. Maraming salamat po sa mga nag-commit sa inyo. Thank you. Yeah, I know you're not doing it for us, but you're doing it for our small entrepreneurs. And this time, the products of the agriculture sector that will be the output of our projects in SULU can be made available and mainstream in these local stores that we will put up in cooperation with the malls. So palakpakan po natin ang lahat ng tumutulong sa atin dito. The project also that we have here, bringing inclusive business, making sure that the products, especially of the farmers, would land and would be bought and purchased by big companies is really an ideal model, having an inclusive business model, which is a model that can provide sustainable market for the agriculture sector, especially our poor farmers. So with that, we again thank our big brothers, or call it sisters for those gender sensitive. Palakpakan natin ang mga big brothers partners, really ensuring that inclusive business will help uplift the lives of the small entrepreneurs. We're happy to note also that upon the initiative of our president, he has taken from his budget 1 billion pesos and transferred it to through DTI, not to us alone, but through DTI, to be lent out to the micro entrepreneurs. 1 billion pesos as a start. The vision and the promise of the president is to provide 1 billion per region. So to start off that program, where he's allocating 1 billion to our project to help really the startups, the market vendors, hawkers, small farmers, and even from 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, up to 150,000, 200,000, we can accommodate through this microfund. And we're happy to say that for the SULU project, we are happy to allocate 50 million pesos for the SULU farmers and all our projects that we will do for SULU to jumpstart the economy in Sulu. So that will be our little contribution for a start. If we do well, we can do another 50 million for the area. And with that, so we call upon everyone here to please just continue with your commitment to help the province of Sulu and also to help the small farmers, not only in Sulu but around the country, and be a major force, be a game changer in this noble project of uplifting the lives of all our kababayans. Maraming salamat po. And Merry Christmas.
Marami pong salamat, Trade Secretary Lopez. Now to give us more insight into what Negosyo para sa Kapayapaan, para sa Sulu is all about, I would like to introduce to you all the man behind this project, no other than the champion of Philippine agriculture, Secretary Manny Piñol.
Mayor President, ladies and gentlemen, it was about 9 o'clock in the evening of September 16. I was in Borongan, Eastern Samar, for the Biyaheng Bukid when I received a call from Secretary Bong Go, who told me that the President wanted to talk to me. Of course, what followed next was the cool but authoritative voice of the man I have admired for so long. And he said, "Man, I'm with Governor Tan now. They have problems in Sulu. Can you please go to Sulu?" What can I say? It was the President telling me, "Yes, sir." September 16, September 19, I was in Sulu. September 20, we were back in Zamboanga. September 21 in the morning, I was meeting with Ramon Ang of San Miguel Corporation. September 29 evening, I was meeting with Joey Concepcion. That was 3 months and 4 days ago. Today, we're here. But let me tell you the story. When we took the 2 Huey helicopters from Zamboanga to Sulu, we flew over beautiful islands, blue waters. And I thought I saw schools of fish literally waving at us, asking us to catch them because they're dying of boredom. I know it's an exaggeration, but this is how rich Sulu is. But they could not catch more fish because they don't have a cold storage. They have one, but since their power is provided by a diesel generator, it would be more expensive for them to operate a cold storage than the money they will earn from selling the fish. We went to the interior of Sulu, and right away, I knew what the President wanted. We have long talked about this even before he agreed to run for president. President Duterte has always told me in the past that arms alone will not win this war. There's got to be something else. And we both agreed that alongside the campaign against terrorism, against armed groups, there should be the soft hand that would provide comfort to people in distress. This is the basic concept of the Save Sulu project. In fact, when I presented this project to Joey Concepcion and his group, the title of the project was Adopt a Village Program. We wanted to invite private corporations to adopt one village at a time. As soon as the military clears one village, the private sector should come in, build the sports facilities, learning centers, build water systems, provide basic infrastructure, maybe provide livelihood, build roads. This was the basic concept of the Save Sulu project. But Joey is a miracle worker, and I have to give credit.
The small, this is what is happening now. And I hope, with just this gathering, putting all of this captains of industry together is something that would promote our province. In terms of resources, Sulu Sea is the richest fishing ground throughout the world. We have the strongest fiber. Our abaca is the strongest fiber in the world. We have so much in terms of agriculture produce. We have a lot of mangosteens, except that we cannot prolong the shelf life of our fruits. We have durians. Durians are growing wild.
Game-changing president. President Rodrigo Duterte, Kuya Rodi, thank you for all what you've done for this country. And may we hear your Christmas message.
Kindly sit down. I have a prepared speech here. 2 pages. Hindi pa ako. But this kind of thing would not inspire me tonight if I do not give you my sentimento ko sa buhay. You know, I was studying and lived in a dormitory. And every time we get our key from the pigeon hole, I look at that statement. It was in, it says there, I only passed through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to my fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not thus pass this way again. Ngayon, hanggang ngayon, namemorize ko kasi araw-araw kami. Every time you get the message, you go to the desk. So YMCA, just beside City Hall. And it's a great dorm. And marami kami doon, halo-halo. 400 of us. So more or less you begin to interact with a lot of people, different religions, and different tribes. So maybe that was why I started my politics, because I'm fond of just getting to know you and making friends. Pero nung sa eleksyon, well, of course, I've been mayor of the city of Davao for 23 years. That is why I would more or less know about governance. But I hold it as an article of faith that no progress or development can come to a country or a city unless there is law and order. Just after the revolution of Cory, there was really lawlessness in Mindanao and in Davao. And, well, I thought that maybe if I ran, I could improve the situation of my city where I grew up. So nung presidente ako, and I promised this, one, that there will be no corruption. And if it is there, then baka ginusto mo. You might want it. Two is that I have to stop drugs in this country. Third is criminality. Because there are the three things that would really kill a nation. Fourth is I leave to the economic managers, of course, just create the environment where they can thrive peacefully and with the least intervention of government. As a matter of fact, ayaw kong makialam sa mga negosyo. For one thing or another, a lot of reasons, harassment. That's why I said to this government, na kayong, those of you who are joining me, kindly be reminded of my words. So a lot of things have happened ROL of late, and to think I'm not just about how many months in the office. I have fired almost 92 people from the regulatory bodies. I left the RB, lahat yan. And we have an impasse with the people of the ERC because they have refused to step down. You know, ako yung government worker. I am in charge of protecting public interest. And how can I trust you when you are already there fixing the rates of the electricity that the people use? How can I be sure now that we are not shortchanged, that the public is suffering actually because of these rates? I don't mind if it is really a finding that is factual and true. Wala akong problema dyan. But if I suspect that you are there on the take, you better resign. Hindi tayo makakaintindihan dyan. Then the harassment, but I would withhold the money or request Congress to dissolve the regulatory board. Hindi ako pwede ng ganon kasi sa awa ng Diyos, wala naman akong pinipili. You know, if I was able to survive on a shoestring budget and a public official for 40 years, well, we can survive with our salaries are much bigger. I get about 130,000. Pero kulang talaga because I have 2 families to support. One is that I got an annulment from my first wife. So, itong sila mayor, pati si, itong isa naman, isa lang. Pero, talagang kulang. Kasi sabihin ko sa inyo ang totoo ha. Makinig kayo. Ma'am, tumingin ka sa akin. Ayaw mo tumingin sa akin eh. You know, kung magtanong ka kung maligaya ako, totohanan talaga to. I'm talking live to all throughout the country. I never expected really to win. I was there for just the challenge of it. But I was looking at the other candidates. Nobody was talking about Mindanao. The serious problem actually is Mindanao. Because if we don't handle it very carefully, this country will end up dismembered. Maniwala kayo sa akin. Kasi sinabi ko kay Sakor, you have to finish this. So good luck. Sabi ko, Sakor, pag nahulog itong helicopter na ito, tapos na ang lahat. Magkakaproblema na tayo. Well, because I said I was able to talk to Ms. Wari, although he's outside of the country, he's really taking stock of everything. Okay, he's willing to talk to us. DMI, we're having the first round officially next year with Jesus Doresa here, secretary na sa peace process. At I hope I said that before the year ends, something concrete and positive will come out. And ito ang gusto kong sabihin sa bayan. You have to heed us, people, guys from Mindanao, because we're telling you the truth. You have to really transform this country. One of a unitary type, with so much control, is like the imperial throne, because down the line, to the last treasurer or to the last assessor comes from Malacanang or from the civil service or whoever he wants to get appointed. kailangan mo lahat na pati yung pera namin. And the fact is talagang it is not divided equally. Of course, we are not as prosperous as the other places of the Philippines, but still we're taxpayers and we're contributing a lot. Remember that 54%, lahat mga ka-export, that 54% of the total export earnings of this country comes from Mindanao. So, pagka ganon, then every election, meron dito, a favored few, and they elect the president in this. They meet in one of four of them, five. So, mahirap yan. Because in the system, no fault of theirs, but I mean, you decide because nandito lahat eh. And it cannot last long, not forever, I suppose. Maniwala kayo, kasi pag hindi, talagang there will never be an end to violence there. Why? I'll tell you. What's the secret? How is it? How to understand it? Actually, this started. They are not plain rebels, just rebels because they just want to fight. Tatanong ka, ano ba yan sila? Bakit gustong patayan lahat? You know. And even the scholars of the Moro, this is actually a Moro nationalism. People of Mindanao, of the Muslim faith, are really called Moro. Ito sila ang nauna sa Mindanao. Because 100 years before Magellan landed in Leyte, bringing him the religion, Christianity, Sulu and Mindanao were already converted to Islam ahead by 100 years. So when Magellan forced his way into the country and subdued us, they got a nice place because they found in Mindanao, just like the Americans, that there was no typhoon. That fact of being knowledgeable in the wind currents, alam na nila noon. Kasi walang bagyo dito sa Mindanao. That is why when it was opened by the Americans, go to Mindanao because it is the land of promise. Actually, it was just sloganeering. Before dito kasi ang Bureau of Lands, centuries ago. And the huge map of the Philippines was here. And they divided Mindanao, and I cannot blame them because there were no people at the time. Yung dito mga Tagalog ang nabigyan. Pare, mayroon doon. We're trying to divide Mindanao. You might want a 24-hour, di ba 24-hour yung 7 homestead. Those were pati yung Torrance title was introduced by the Americans. Now, early on, they wanted to develop the Americans, but they could not find the workers because the Moro would not want to work for the Americans who were Caucasians. And rightly so, the Moro really said that you are invading my country. And so they revolted against the Spaniards. The most that they could do was really yung Spaniards to build the fourth pillar to stop the inroads of the missionaries coming from Malaysia, Indonesia, going up to Mindanao. Yun ang nangyari. So they fought the Spaniards, they fought the Americans, and they are fighting us. Why? Because of this nationalism. Kanila itong Mindanao pati sila. Walang Kristiyanos noon. Everybody, anak ka ng whether the Muslim, the Moro of Davao is Kalagan, Kagan, Sama, Puluhano, Tausog, Maguindanao, Iranon. Those were the guys, they're all Muslims. So now, we are in a bind because here is the Philippines, here is Mindanao, the Christians lording it over, the Muslim populations kasi kukunti lang. And even in my state, it's about 17. But we cannot really blame them. And so we have to ask for an arrangement where we can live peacefully and live comfortably. So how do we get it? You listen to them. Now they say the barest minimum for Miswari, Murad of the MILF and the rest is really federalism. Then itong mga violent groups, the Maote and itong si mga Abu Sayyaf, will just have to talk. Or it is really a problem also of the leaders of the Moro, please. But at least we give them the hope. Importante yan, you give him hope. So that if we go to federalism, it's gonna be something like this. Ngayon kasi, mayor o president, yun. Mayor, governor, these are the powers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yung 5, 6, 7, wala dyan nakalagay. Those powers, residual, goes to the national, DILG. Ang federal, hindi. These are the powers of the federal setup, presidente na. Ang wala dyan, goes down. That is what you call devolution in its highest form. So may control sila. Pakialaman niya, lupa nila yan eh. So if they want to contract with somebody else, let the foreigners in as long as there's a safeguard on everything, taxes and all. Wala tayong problema. Ngayon they say that Duterte is pushing for the federalism because he wanted to stay in power beyond 6 years. Ladies and gentlemen, may I give you my word of honor. If they can craft, because they have to provide for a strong president because of the distribution of the islands, delikado ka kung a parliament, just like the British, when it was first struck with the violent, yung double-decker nila sumabog, it's a consensual body. Ang ano nila, hindi pa malaman kung ano, but you have a strong presidential like France. You can have a parliament but reserve some powers, although very few, to call for an election, to dissolve the parliament, to be the chief commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. Ibigay mo lang yan sa President 5, 6, 7, ang lahat doon na sa baba. Huwag mo pakialaman. Let them enjoy the resources of their land. Much of it has been taken over by us. Tayo mga Kristiyanos, mga negosyante. They own so much of the land, but they are marginalized and they are into enclaves. There's a place, a barangay here, a barangay there. But we have to change that. Otherwise, if we do not go with the changing times, it will overtake us. And nothing will happen to this country. Now, just to the question I said, I am trying to figure out how to me, if you can craft the federal type government next year and submit it to the people for ratification, whether you really know. And if it passes the verdict of the people, I am going to step down. Next year, tapos yan lahat. Tapos na ako. I give you my word, my guarantee that it will happen. Baba na ako. Para walang masabi yung tao na Duterte. If you do not believe me, hindi ka talaga believe sa akin. Kasi anuhin mo. Actually, pero kung magandang babae ka, hindi kita hintuan. Hindi mo ako sagutin. Ma'am, pag hindi mo, patayin kita. So, ganon. I leave you that message for me. It's actually a Moro nationalism. Yung mga abusador as the fringes of a violent world. These are not really the activities, the core of the problem. The core of the problem is we have to have a balance here.